Namaste and welcome back everybody to our 7th session of Soundarya Lahari. Today we will be exploring the second verse of Soundarya Lahari. But before that, let's all sit tall, head, neck and trunk in a straight line. And I invite you all to close your eyes and bring your attention to the middle of your heart and take 3 deep breaths. With each inhalation, feel the body getting energized. And with each exhalation, feel the relaxation in the body. Inhale deep. Exhale completely. Inhale deep. Exhale fully. One more deep inhalation. And exhalation. Keeping your eyes closed, we will do the Rupa Dhyana using the Sindhurarana Vigraham. So you can bring the Vigraham of Devi in your mind as we go through the lines. As you understand the meaning more, then I can stop talking about that, but maybe a couple more sessions I'll go through the meaning. Sit tall. Sindhurarana Vigraham. We are meditating on that Divine Mother whose body has a red hue of Sindhuram. Trinayanam. She has 3 eyes. Manikya Maulispurat. She is wearing beautiful crown studded with rubies. Bring that in your canvas of your mind. Tara Nayaka Shekharam. She's adorned, her head is adorned with crescent moon. Smitamukhi, she's smiling. Apina Vakshoruham. She has full bosom, indicating the nourishment for her children, which we all are. Panipyam, in her hand, Alipurna Ratna Chashakam, that one hand is holding a jewel-studded pot filled with amritam, the nectar. Hence, you can also see the bees buzzing around that nectar. Riktolpalam Pipratim, on the other hand, she holds a red lotus flower. Saumyam Ritna Khadastarikta Charanam Dhyayet Param Ambikam. Her holy feet is resting on a pedestal, again studded with gems, and we are meditating on that Divine Mother. Just keep that Vigraham in your mind. And we'll do a quick Manasa Puja. First, I'm offering Jalam, which represents the Jala Tattvam in me. Gandham, the sandal paste, representing the Prithvi Tattvam. I'm offering Pushpam, the flower, representing the Akasha Tattvam. I'm offering to that Vigraham incense, Dhupam, representing Vayu Tattvam. I'm offering Deepam, that is representing Agni Tattvam. And finally, I am offering Naivedyam, representing my own prana. Keep that Devi in your mind for one more moment. Welcome back, everybody. Today, we will go through the second verse of Soundarya Lahari. Before that, a quick recap on the first verse of Soundarya Lahari. We learned about that Shiva Shaktya Yukto, where Lalita Sahasranamam end. that line that ends is where Soundarya Lahari start. So Lalita Sahasranamam end with the line Sri Shiva, Shiva Shakti Kya Rupini Lalitambika, and Soundarya Lahari start with Shiva Shakti. Eternally, Shiva and Shakti are together, showing that Advaita Siddhantam. And the first verse said that Shiva, the Shakti, is the one who is giving Shiva the power to vibrate. So if Shiva, Shakti is not with Shiva, nothing is going to happen. No Prapañcam is created if Shakti is not there with Shiva. So it's showing the glory of Shakti. And it continued saying about the cosmic functions like creation, protection, and dissolution done by Virinchi, Hari, and Hara. That function itself is happening because Shakti is providing that power to these devatas. So it was still showing that glory of Devi in that first verse. And Shiva is that passive element, and while Shakti is the dynamic element. While both of them are exactly the same component of two different components of the same thing. It's eternally together. You can say that this is Shiva, this is Shakti, but they are eternally together. But for us human beings, we don't understand that language. That's why we are giving them a name and the form, things like that. But they themselves are always together. Shiva and Shakti are always united. So now, there is those who are initiated into some of the mantras have also seen that there are different elements before you do the mantra chanting, and some of the elements are called bījam, Shakti, and Kilakam. There are other elements too, Nyasam, etc. Again, if you are not initiated into mantras, you don't have to know this, but just want to give a general understanding. So this Bījam, Shakti, Kilakam of this Soundarya Lahari are some of the verses within Soundarya Lahari. So this first verse of Shiva Shaktya Yukto is the Bījam of Soundarya Lahari. And Shakti is a slokam that starts with Sudha Sindhur Madhye. We will talk about that later. And Kilakam is the one that we went through in, I think, second or third session, which is the verse 27, Japo Jalpa Shilpa. So just wanted to give you that context. And the other thing is about Guru. So if you don't have a Guru, don't worry about it. We will take Jagat Guru Adi Shankaracharya as our own Guru in our Sankalpam and then learn this, all these slokas. So now we can go into the second verse. So first I will chant and then we will look into the verse together. So the second verse says, Taniyamsam Pamsum Tava Charana Pankeruha Bhavam Virinjis Sanchinvan Virachayati Lokana Vikalam Vahatyenam Shauri Kathamapi Sahasrena Shirasam Harasam Chuddhainam Bhajati Pasito Dhulana Vite. So let me share that with you. So once again, Taniyamsam Pamsum Tava Charana Pankeruha Bhavam Virinjis Sanchinvan Virachayati Lokana Vikalam Vahatyenam Shauri Kathamapi Sahasrena Shirasam Harasam Chuddhainam Bhajati Basito Dhulana Vitham. Let's look into the word meaning first. Taniyamsam Pamsum. Taniyamsam means a fine, very fine. Pamsam is dust. Fine dust. From where? Tava Charana Pankeruha Bhavam. Under your holy feet. That is like Pangajam. Pangajam is lotus. So from your lotus feet, what is coming from her lotus feet? Taniyamsam Pamsam. So the whole verse is about the power of goddess's feet. So from goddess's feet is coming Taniyamsam Pamsam, fine dust. And what is happening to that dust? So taking that dust, Virinji Sanchinvan Virachayati Lokana Vikalam. So using that dust, Virinji, which is Lord Brahma, Sanchinvan is collecting. Sanchita, you have heard the words like Sanchita Papam, Sanchita Karmam. So that Sanchin means collected. So Virinji is collecting that And he's doing the Virachayati. He's creating Lokan Avikalam. Lokam, how many lokam we know? Like there are supposed to be 14 lokam, for 7 urdhva logam, and which is bhulogam, bhurlogam, swarlogam, and there are 7 of them. And then Atala, Sutala, Vitala, like there are 7 of them, adholokam. So that 14 of those lokam has been created by Virinchi using the dust that is coming from Devi's feet. Now, next one. Vahatyenam shauri katamabi sahasrena shiratsam. So now, this lokam that is created by Virinchi with very great difficulty, katamabi with great difficulty, somehow, Vahatyenam, he's carrying that lokam by who? Shauri. Here, Shauri as a Mahaviṣṇu, using what? Sahasrena shirasam, using that 1,000 head. I think Adishesha Rupa is what is used here. And using that 1,000 Vyapaneti iti Viṣṇu. And that Viṣṇu, with so much difficulty, is carrying that lokam that is created by Virinchi, the Brahmā. Now, the last one, Haras Samshuddhainam Bhajati Basido Tholanaviti. What does Hara do? Hara does this lokam, when it is ready, he's making it back to fine dust again, and using that, smearing on his body, Bhajati Basido Tholanaviti. As a rite, he's putting that dust into his body, or bhasmam into his body. So this is actually an expansion. We first said the first one is a summary of the entire Soundarya Lahari. Now it is actually going to double clicking on that. We did, there was a mention about Hari Hara and Virinchi, or Virinchi Hari Hara, creating, sustaining or protecting and dissolving this universe. So there was reference to that in that first sloka. And now this second one is saying that how that is happening. So how Hari Hara and Virinchi are doing this particular work that is done, that is actually, Śakti is the one behind all these things. Now, the feet, Tava Charana Pankeroham, right? That feet holds a very special place for worship in Hinduism. The feet is actually a place where our energy is dissipated. Like we have in our feet, the end of the feet, there is this, all the nerve endings are happening. So the energy is dissipated through feet. So now that is a place where we can receive that energy from Devi, or even in Guru's terms, that Guru Paduka is like a very, very special place in our worship. So you have also heard the story, actually before the story, like some of the ways that you were given Diksha by the Guru is keeping his feet on top of the Shishya's head. That is one of the Diksha method. And you all know the famous story about Onam in Kerala, where Vamana is giving the Diksha to Mahabali. So now these feet holds a very special place, that you will see this reference to this feet in many places in upcoming verses. So just remember that part. Now this dust, there are 2 things about this dust. One is Prapañcam has a seed. Of course, this is Kavi Bhavana, showing that using these dust, Lord Brahmā is collecting this dust very carefully and putting them together and creating the universe. But this Prapañcam has a seed. We know that we had a session of the metaphysics of Tantra where we talked about the energy, and from there the whole Prapañcam is created. So matter is a derivative of energy. So that is what the reference of this dust is here. And we know that everything big is formed from something small. Have you seen that the seed of a banyan tree? Such a small seed. And from that small seed, that such a huge banyan tree is created. So everything has that much small seed behind it. Now, that's one part of it. And the second part is, it is also showing the glory of Śakti. So we are saying that like the cosmic functions like creation, creation, sustenance, protection, and dissolution, all these cosmic functions are done by these devatas, but these devatas get their Shakti from Shakti, or their power from this Shakti. So it is showing that glory of Shakti. And then in this particular verse, it is also said that it is created from mere dust from from her feet, which says that how insignificant the universe is, which is created from the dust of this Shakti, this how big the Shakti is, or how infinite her glory is, when this universe is needed only the dust from her feet. So she is referred as Akhilanda Kodi Brahmanda Nayaki. So that is huge, that her glory, the significance is. So that dust is showing two things, that it's everything has a seed, and she is beyond our imagination, beyond our mind can grab. That's how the glory of Shakti is. So that's two things that is referred in this verse. So that's how much reverence we should have to that Devi. Srishtistita Samhara Devadas are doing the worship of Devi. So then I don't have to talk about me, because every single thing in my body or around me is happening because of her. So that is kind of giving you like how much reverence that we should give it to that Devi, because she is the reason I'm blinking my eyes, I'm talking here, you're hearing, and why we are all here is because of her. And even to praise her, we needed what we saw in the first verse. First verse was that even to praise her, we should have done some punyam in our past lives and this life. And otherwise, there is no way that we are sitting here, me talking and you hearing these about Devi. So it has to be punyam from our past life. Then the second part is that, is it a mere imagination of the poet about this poet, I meant Shankaracharya, about this fine dust? Like modern science also talk about the fine dust, right? Dust is the fundamental component of the interstellar medium, where it's interacting with gas to form the stars and galaxies. We know from this modern science. And that is where this reference, that could also be the reference of fine dust over here. And there is actually a Maharshi called Kanada who is behind the Vaisheshika Darshanam of one of the Hinduism. There are Shat Darshanam in Hinduism, and one of the Darshanam is called Vaisheshika. It talk about Anu Paramanu theory, right? And that Maharshi is called Kanada. So his Kanada Maharshi's theory talk about so much of this structure of the Paramanu, the finest particle that creates this whole universe. And he has coined many names like Ekanukam, and two Ekanukam combined together makes a Donukam, and three Donukams creates the Trinukam, etc. And he's also talking about there is a Shakti, there is an Adrishta Shakti that is holding these anus together, Paramanus together. So, and that Shakti could actually be the electromagnetic force. We know from science, like the atoms are in place because of the two forces. One is an attractive force, and other is a repulsion. Right. So within an atom, there are the subatomic particle, which are the proton, neutron, electron. If you take the negatively charged electron, that is always attracted to the nucleus, which is positively charged, and the positively charged protons always repel each other. So that attraction repulsion is holding the atom together. And that is actually holding the entire universe together. We know that 9 planets are together because of this attraction repulsion that's happening between the planets. And that same theory is shown in Devata Sankalpam, especially for Devi. There are two things that Devi is holding that is representing this attraction Shakti and repulsion Shakti. They are called Pasha and Ankusha. Pasham is a rope, noose. It's you have seen in many. I can show a picture later. That Pasham is attraction force, And Ankusham is the goat that is used to kind of control the elephant if they are misbehaving. Those two the two Shaktis are represented by Pasham and Ankusham, attraction and repulsion, in Devi's hands. And in many other Devatas also hold that one. This particular one, we are talking about Lalita Tripura Sundari is holding that in her two hands behind. And there are two hands in front. We will see that later. So these two ayudhams, or Pasham and Ankusham, are representing this attraction and repulsion. So it's not just simply that the rishis are given these ayudhams to Devi. There is some reference to it. And those who chant Lalita Sahasranamam would have heard the line, Ragas Swarupa Pashatya, Krodha Karankushojwala, Mano Rupekshu Kodanda, Panchatanmatra Sayaka. So that Raga is the attraction. Raga is the mamata, and the rope represents that, because rope connects two things together, right? So that is the same mamata that we have to our kids. Like when we have attachment or attraction to anybody, that is that power that is acting up. And then Raga Swarupa Pashatya, Krodha Karang Kushojwala. Ankusham is for Krodham. Krodham is the repulsion part, repulsion Shakti. So that Ankusham is represented by the Krodham. Krodham is the repulsion. So that is this two ayudhams that Devi is holding. The other thing that I want to talk about the verse is there is a beautiful story from Kenopanishad about the significance of Devi. The whole thing is saying that Devi is the one who is providing the Shakti to everything, right? Devi along with Shiva. So the Kenopanishad talk about Agni, Indra, and I think Vayu. So three of them are after the Asura Nigraham. They are all walking with so much pride. Because they killed so many Asuras, and during that moment, they see something that's having a Tejomaya Rupam in the middle of the field. And Indra says to Agni that, why don't you go and inquire what that is? And then Indra goes and Indra sees this Yaksha. Sorry, Agni went to this Yaksha, and Yaksha asks Agni, who are you? And Agni says, I am Agni. And what can you do? Yaksha asked, and Agni said, I can burn this entire universe. And Yaksha asks, is that so? So he gives a blade of grass and said, okay, then show me how you burn it. And Agni tried so hard, but he could not burn it. And defeated, he went back to Indra, and they were puzzled, like, who is that force? And then Indra said, okay, why don't you go, Vayu, and see who that is? And Vayu, with so much of pride again, went to Yaksha and asked, who are you? Yaksha instead asked, like, who are you? Vayu said, I am Vayu, and I can swallow this entire universe in a matter of moments. And then Yaksha says, like, okay, can you move this blade of grass? And Vayu tried so hard, but he couldn't move. And Vayu went back to Indra. And now Indra is getting some idea. So this time Indra decided to go by himself. And when he went, Yaksha disappeared. And then he decided to stay for a little longer. And then finally, somebody else appeared there, and that was Uma, or Parvati. Indra was asking, like, who was that Shakti that was there before? And Parvati teaches him that is, you all think that you are the one who is behind all these functions that you are doing, but that is not coming from you. That is coming from Shakti and Shiva together. And Kenopanishad use the word Brahman, but in here, in Tantra, that is the Shiva Shakti union together, that is giving that Shakti to the entire thing. If that is what's happening, it is the same Shakti that is making my eyes blink, my heart beat, everything. So here it is showing that Indra is the power of mind. The Vayu, the Agni, and all other things are our Indriyas. So our Indriyas think that we are the ones that is doing everything. And we all have that ahankaram. Like we feel that we are the ones who is doing it. Here, this story shows that like we should not be feeling that that pride. And ultimately, it is a Shakti that is giving us all that power. And ultimately, Shakti is the one who can finally take us to that Shiva, or Shakti is the one who can provide us the ultimate enlightenment. So it is that story that is teaching us that one, the glory of Shakti, which is giving the Srishtisthiti Samharam in that in the second verse, and also in the Kenopanishad story, to the Devatas of Indriya. Indra is actually the Adidevata of all Indriya. And this the Vayu, Agni, all represents different Indriyas in our body. So that Shakti is given by the Devi herself. So it is that we should have that in that understanding with us always, and we should act accordingly, because especially for those who are doing sadhana, will eventually develop that pride, even more pride than the regular folks. So we should be very careful that we should not have that pride, and because always understand that this is her Maya that we are all seeing. So, and she is the one, we should have that Sharanagati with her so that she can take her the ultimate mukti. With that, let me go into the sadhana part. Unfortunately, Rajesh ji couldn't join us today. One thing I promised to you was actually there are two more dhyana slokam that usually people use at the beginning of Soundarya Lahari. I want to go through that quickly so that you have an understanding. One is actually a dhyana slokam, and the other one is a Kshama Parada slokam. So let's do the Rupa Dhyanam. This is another one. You already learned one of the Rupa Dhyanam, which is Sindhurarana Vigraham. And this particular one is for, many people use it for Soundarya Lahari. But I would still want to continue using the Sindhurarana Vigraham because of two reasons. It is showing two things that are important for us. One is the bhoga, and the other is yoga, because tantras talk about we need the bhoga, we need all the aishwaryam that we can get to live in this world, and we also need the moksha. So, and she has that to both representation in that initial the Sindhurarana Vigraham Rupa Dhyanam Dhyana Slokam. One is Vakshoruham, the full bosom, where she's providing that nourishment to her children, whatever the children we need, that she's providing. And there was a beautiful thing that I heard over the last week while I was traveling. One of our friends put this song where the line in Malayalam, I will talk about it in Malayalam and then translate to English. The line said, Unnikkidavinnu nalgan amma nenjil palari yendi. That is the Malayalam word, and translate into to give it to that Unnikkidavu. Unnikkidavu is the infant, the child. In order to give it to the child, the mother carried a palari, the Ksheerasagaram, the milky ocean, on her chest. So that is the bhavam, that we are all her Unnikkidavu, we are all her little kids. So in order for us, she's giving whatever that we needed. Sometimes she's a mother, so she may not give you whatever we are asking, because she knows what is good for us. So she gives what is needed for us always. So let's have that bhavam of that Unnikkidavu, the little child, and she's the one who's protecting, who's giving us everything that we need. So that is what that full bosom represents. On her chest, there is the milky ocean. And the second part is that she's holding that nectar amritam, and that amritam should be our ultimate goal, or the purpose for dharmartha kama moksham. That moksham should be our ultimate purpose. So she can also provide that amritam. So keeping that two in that, we need the bhogam and we need the moksham. So those two, hence I like that particular slogan, but I don't want to ignore this particular dhyana slogan where many people use it. So here goes this one. Lauhitya nirjita japa kusumanuragam pashankushau dhanurishu nabidharayanti tamrekshanam arunamalya vishesha bhusham tambula purita mukhim tripuram namami. It says Lauhitya nirjita japa. Lauhitya is red color. You have heard the word lahu in Hindi, so it is also coming from that. So her red complexion is even better than jaba kusumam. Jaba kusumam is hibiscus flower. Her color is winning the color of the red hibiscus flower. And what is she carrying? Pashankusham. We just talked about the pasham and ankusham. So she, in one of her hand, it's pasham, the noose or the rope, and the other hand has ankusham, the goat. And pashankusham, dhanurishu. Dhanu is bow, and ishu is arrow. Dharayanti, she's carrying. Tamrekshanam, tamram means copper. She is eye, so she has copper-colored eyes, and she's wearing arunamalyam. Arunam is red, so arunam, red-colored garland that she's wearing with vishesha bhusham, all special ornaments she's wearing. And tambula purida mukhim tripuram namami. Tambulam is the betel leaf. So, you know, the betel leaf is not just the leaf, but with all the spices and all the sugandha dravyam. That is how in the past people were using this as a digestive element. Tambulam itself, it's good for digestion. So she is chewing the tambulam. And if you notice that there is always that whenever in both of these dhyana slokam, there is an element of dynamism happening. Here, just imagine that Devi chewing tambulam. So there is this action continuously going on. And that action, it's an important element, especially when we are doing a dhyana. Because our mind tend to move around. So if something is moving, when mind can focus on that moving thing. That's why in meditation, we always focus on the breathing, because breathing, there is a dynamic element to breathing. And then we know that Shakti is that vibration. And the dynamic element of that Shakti, you can see in many of these dhyana slokas. And in the first one, what we see was that it was not she doing any dynamic action. It was the buzzing of the bees in that pot, right? So there is this dynamic action happening. So that will help us focus our mind when we are doing the Rupa Dhyanam. So here, her mouth is filled with tambulam, and she is doing that chewing action. And to that Devi, to that Tripura Sundari, that we are doing the salutations. So that is what this particular dhyana slokam is. I'm going to share this with you. And also, Meenaji has recorded both the second slokam as well as this dhyana slokam. So I will share that in her voice. As soon as you do the dhyana slokam, always do the Manasa Puja. So this is one way that to kind of build that understanding in our mind that yes, it is transformed. That Shakti Shiva concept is transformed into the Prapañcam. And if we offer everything that is Jalatattvam in us, Gandham, Prithvi Tattvam, Akasha Tattvam, Vayu Tattvam, Agni Tattvam, and my prana itself, if I offer everything, what is remaining in me? That Shuddha Chaitanya. So it is one way, slowly taking us to that Mukti Margam, Moksha Margam. So it's each time. And that's why when you do this, you have to do it with utmost Shraddha. So the focus has to be on all these things, because it is a very, very subtle element. We are talking into the mind and even the vibrations, feeling that vibration, and also understanding that how the tattvam works. Mechanically don't do that. Do it with a full understanding. Even when you are bringing that rupa dhyanam, always bring that rupam with utmost care. And you should feel that the tambulam, that what she's chewing, you should feel it, that motion. So do that with the utmost care. With that, the second thing, this is where I want to show you the picture of the Pasham and Ankusham. You have seen in many pictures, but I just want to show you for reference. The other thing that people use, I'm not telling you that you need to do all of these at the beginning of the Soundarya Lahari, but just want to introduce you to this. This is not technically Rupa Dhyanam or Dhyana Slokam. It is more like an aparadha kshamapanam. So you know how we say that after doing a mantra, we say that, okay, whatever I have done wrong, please forgive me. So this is more like it. So let me go through the line and then give you the meaning. Bhumau skalida padanam bhumirevavalambanam tvai jada aparadham tvameva sharanam shive. Every single time, like we are walking on Mother Earth, keeping the feet on anything is considered as disrespectful. So here, even though I disrespect the Mother Earth by keeping my feet on top of her, if I fall, skalida padanam, if I fall by slipping, who holds me? Who is my avalambanam? Who is my support? Bhumi herself. So even though I disrespect Bhumi, Mother Earth, when I fall, she is my support. So similarly, O goddess, you are alone. You alone are my refuge when I commit offense to you. Tvai jada aparadham. If I do all the aparadham to you. I know that I do. So in this particular one, maybe by wrong chanting of any verse, or how even when we are eating bad things, that is something that we are doing wrong to Devi, because everything is created by Devi. If we are not doing dharma, that is actually doing an offense, committing an offense to her. So I know that I do a lot of offense to you, but I know that you still are my ultimate refuge. So that is what this verse says. Bhumau skalita padanam bhumireva avalambanam tvai jada paradhanam tvameva sharanam shive. Okay. So with that, maybe we can do the final sadhana together before we open up for questions. So you can all sit tall, and we will follow the same process. The Guru first, Ganesha, then Om Namah Shivaya. For just this session, we will do the 3 times. While you are doing your daily session, please do 108 times. Then Dhyana Sloka with Manasa Puja. Then I would recommend Sloka 1 repeating at least 1 time. And then now that you learned the Sloka 2, please do that for 10 times. I don't have to repeat how important it is to do the sadhana on a daily basis. So I would say that give importance to this class, maybe 10%, and 90% importance should be given to your sadhana on a regular basis, because the only way that you can progress towards mukti or even towards bhoga also is by doing the sadhana by yourself. So please do the sadhana on a daily basis. And if you are initiated or doing some sadhana beforehand, please continue to do that sadhana, and along with that, you add on this one. Okay. With that, let's start. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Viṣṇu, Gurur Devo Maheśvara, Gurur Sakshal Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Vakratundha Mahakaya, Suryakotis Samaprabha, Nirvikhnam Kurume Deva, सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ॐ नमः शिवाय। ॐ नमः शिवाय। ॐ नमः शिवाय। Dhyana slokam. Bring the rupam in your mind as I chant. Sindūrāruna-vigraham trinayanam maణిక్యమౌళిస్ఫురత్ तारानायकशेखरां स्मितमुखीं आबीनवक्षोरुहां पाणिभ्याम् अलिपूर्णरत्नचषकं रिक्तोल्पलं बिभृतीं सौम्यां रत्नघटस्थरक्तचरणां ध्यायेत् पराम् अम्बिकाम्। Slokam 1. शिवशक्त्या युक्तो यदि भवति शक्तः प्रभवितुं न चेदेवं देवो न खलु कुशलः स्पन्दितुमपि। अधस्त्वामाराध्यां हरिहरविरिञ्जादिभिरपि प्रणम्तुं स्तोतुं वा कथमकृतपुण्यप्रभवति। तनीयां सम्पांसुं तव चरणपङ्केरुहभवं विरिञ्चिः सञ्चिन्वन् विरचयति लोकानविकलम्। वहत्येनं शौरी कथमपि सहस्रेण शिरसां हरः संक्षुद्यैनं भजति पसितोद्धूलनविधिम्।